You know, whether you've seen his name on a red carpet, a perfume bottle, or a pair of sunglasses, you have felt his influence. The passing of Giorgio Armani is without a doubt the end of an era, and it forces us to ask a really big question. What happens when a fashion titan, who literally defined style for decades, is suddenly gone?
At 91 years old, his life spanned nearly a century of incredible change. But here's the thing, he wasn't just watching history happen. From the way we dress for work to the very idea of a global luxury brand, he was one of the people writing it.
I want you to really think about this for a second. Before Armani, power dressing usually meant these stiff, rigid, almost uncomfortable suits. He's the one who came in, took out all the padding, softened the lines, and completely redefined what elegance even meant. He didn't just change our clothes, he changed how we felt in them.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to talk about the final bow of an icon. Then we'll dive deep into the style that redefined elegance. After that, we'll get a sense of the sheer scale of his $12 billion empire, ask what the future holds for it, and finally, really explore the incredible legacy he leaves behind.
Every story has a final chapter, and for Giorgio Armani, his closed quietly, marking the true end of one of the most extraordinary careers in fashion history.
He passed away peacefully at his home, surrounded by loved ones. And this came after a period of some quiet health battles, which had actually caused him to miss his recent runway shows. And the timing is just so poignant. He was right in the middle of planning the brand's 50th anniversary, a huge milestone he was just shy of seeing.
Inside his company, he was known simply as Il Signor Armani, Mr. Armani. And that formal title, it tells you everything about the deep respect he commanded. People who worked with him remembered him as indefatigable. I mean, what a word. It just means relentless. A guy who never, ever stopped working, right up to the very end. You know, that tireless drive wasn't just about working hard. It was fueled by a revolutionary vision. So let's get into it. What was it about the Armani signature that changed everything? It all boils down to this one incredible idea, the unstructured silhouette. He literally deconstructed the power suit. He took out the padding, he removed the stiff lining, and he created something that was fluid, comfortable, and just effortlessly elegant. This wasn't just a new look, you guys. It was a new way of living. He made it possible for sophistication and comfort to finally exist together. And his influence got so massive, he basically put an entire city on the fashion map. I mean, sure, Paris had centuries of couture history, but Armani? He almost single-handedly made Milan the world capital of modern luxury, cementing its place on the global stage for good.
A vision that powerful? Well, it doesn't just create a new style, it builds an empire. And the scale of what Armani created is, frankly, staggering. $12.1 billion. Let that sink in for a second. That was his personal net worth, according to Forbes. A number like that proves he wasn't just a brilliant designer. He was one of the sharpest, most disciplined entrepreneurs the industry has ever seen. Because Armani figured out really quickly he wasn't just selling clothes, he was selling a worldview, a whole lifestyle. And it just exploded into everything. Perfumes, furniture, chocolates, flowers. He even had luxury hotels in Dubai and Milan. He owned restaurants. He even owned a basketball team. He didn't just build a brand. He built an entire world and invited all of us to live in it. And that, of course, brings us to the most urgent question of all. When an entire world is so completely tied to its creator, what on earth happens when he's gone? This is the question on everyone's mind, from Milan to Wall Street. For almost 50 years, Giorgio Armani wasn't just the designer. He was the CEO, the lead strategist, the sole shareholder. He was the brand. Full stop. So moving forward without him, that's not just a challenge, it's a complete reinvention.
And you know what's incredible? Even Armani himself knew this day was coming. In a really candid interview just last year, he admitted his time was running out. It just shows you that even in his final years, he was still the master strategist, planning for a future he knew he wouldn't be a part of.
So it seems his solution wasn't to try and find another singular genius. I mean, how could you? Instead, he built a collective, a kind of council of guardians to carry the torch. The plan reportedly involves 3 key pillars: trusted family members, his longtime right-hand man Pantaleo del Orco, and a new charitable foundation, all designed to protect the brand's original DNA. So when you strip everything else away, the money, the fame, the empire, what's the core of his legacy? What really made Armani Armani? Well, it really comes down to a few key principles. First, he was fiercely independent, always refusing to be swallowed up by the giant fashion conglomerates. He was loyal, staying true to his home city of Milan. But his real magic? His designs were grounded in how people actually lived, and he just had this uncanny knack for seeing exactly where culture was headed next.
In its final tribute, his own company called him the creator, founder, and tireless driving force. And those words aren't an exaggeration. He truly was the engine, the heart, and the soul of the entire Armani universe.
Which leaves us with one final, and I think crucial question. And it's a challenge that faces not just the House of Armani, but any empire built on the vision of one person. How do you keep the magic alive after the magician is gone? Answering that, well, that's going to be the next chapter of the Armani legacy.